Dude, are you just mashing the... You know the fucking thing. Ready to roll?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Dubstep throwback, let's go. Wait, I need a lucky Pokemon card.
I have a basketball game today.
Let me check my, like, nerd shit for a Pokemon card. Mewtwo! Where are you? Yeah, these are pokes confirmed. Here.
Pokes confirmed.
I know I have your Mewtwo somewhere too.
Ooh, Houndoom.
Is he the guy?
Hell yeah. Take the Houndoom.
Houndoom?
Ooh, Gardevoir.
Oh man.
Huh.
No, I think I might have to take Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Oh hell yeah.
No, Soul Tiger definitely, right? Alright, did you
A
pick
children's game.
a Mewtwo sub?
Yeah, Houndoom.
Houndoom?
Well, no, Gardevoir, because Gardevoir is psychic over here.
Okay, that's close enough.
Yeah. She's a competitively viable Pokemon and psychic.
Fuck, cool as shit. Where's my gun? I know where it is, we're fine. Can I get you anything while I'm up there? Monster dildo?
Yes, a dildo. Please and thank you.
If I don't have one, do you want a monster instead?
Why would you not have a dildo? Welcome trainers, Watts here. Today we're going to a basketball game. So this kid's gonna join us. He's gonna be the cameraman. And I'm gonna win this basketball game.
Hey, everyone, my name is Ray Penny Nickel. I'm accompanying Wyatt to this gathering of adult children to play video games because they have very exploitable identities. I'm with Anonymous, a hacker organization you may or may not have heard of. I'm just gonna do some remote identity theft. No, for real though, I'm like super hype about Wyatt's basketball game. I was just joking about the Anonymous stuff. So like super hype for basketball. I think we're actually gonna get Wyatt laid for the first time today.
Hell yeah! Only if I win this basketball game! So this is the team I'm taking to the basketball game. As you see here, we've got Michael Jordan, the star of my team. He's very powerful. He's not focusing. Holy shit!
Bro, this song. Dude, no, wait, I'll show you the song after. This bullshit is insane. You gotta check this out.
This song's garbage.
I think we should go anymore. I'm just getting
Half a mile, take exit 23 towards Spring Valley Road.
Dude, you're gonna ace this basketball game.
I don't want to go there and be one of those fans who's not into it, and everybody will look at me and they'll call me fat, and I'm having an anxious...
It's okay, you are fat.
It's 'cause we're flying. Girl, you got me flying. It's 'cause we're flying.
The basketball game. We made it to the basketball game.
You got me flying.
Yeah.
Girl, you got me flying. It's 'cause we're flying. It's 'cause we're flying. Girl, you got me flying.
Oh my goodness. There he is. The Ranger Watts himself. Looking sharp.
Hi, Ranger Watts.
Let's get you in some better lighting here, just so everyone can see your threads. Man, you look intimidating.
Hell yeah. Alright, we made it to the basketball game, or at least I think. It's down here, guys.
It's 'cause we're flying. Girl, you got me flying. It's 'cause we're flying.
Okay, is there a basketball game around here?
Basketball?
Yes.
That I did. Awesome, thank you so much.
Is it just?
It's cause we're flying, flying, flying.
Oh, these guys look like basketball players, actually.
You know what you gotta say.
So,
Let's get in line for the basketball game.
try to keep your head down. I tried to keep the word, on the DL that you were going to be here today.
Like I said, we've got Jordan over here. We've also got young, Phelps. We also got Phelps on this team.
Jordan and Phelps.
We also got some female tennis player on this team, which is pretty good.
Wait, did you name all your...
Yeah. So right here we got Kuroko. Over here we've got all the other characters in the show.
Dude, Wyatt. That's Dirk Nowitzki, the guy in front of the guy in front of us. That's Dirk Nowitzki right there. Dude. Dirk Nowitzki, guys.
That feeling when you're really tired and you just want to go home, but you also want to win a basketball game.
It's determination.
How is that?
Right over here.
Thank you.
Player number
2. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Hit the magic button.
I don't need your player ID.
All right, you're all set. So if you'll take your team sheet, your DS, you'll head to that line right there, and they'll do the battle boxes there. So good luck.
Okay. Starting to think that this might not be a basketball game.
It's cause we're flying, 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 flying. Girl, you got me flying, 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 flying. It's cause we're flying, 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 flying. You got me flying, 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 flying. Girl, you got me flying, 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 flying. It's cause we're flying, 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 flying. It's cause we're flying, 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 flying.
What's up, guys? So round 1 is just concluded. We went up against TokenTube here. There will be a link in the description to his channel. He's a really awesome YouTuber. We've collabed before, actually. He had a sick team. Do you mind just talking about your team for a second?
Yeah, so my team consisted, once again, it was a pleasure to play against you, man, and it went to game 3, so it was really fun. But yeah, my team that I brought today is a ranked team that consists of Polytoad Kingdra, Ferrothorn, Gothitelle, Malwall, and Tapu Koko. The concept of the team is to pressure a lot with offensive rain, but then also have an option outside of it because Kingdra gets disabled, which allows it to.
Messed me up.
Yeah.
Game 1, that was like totally caught me off guard.
Yeah, it allows it to have an option outside of just being an offensive threat, which Ludicolo and Swampert don't have to their disposal. So that's why I like Kingdra. The reason why I feel like I was able to win our matchup in particular was because, unfortunately, my opponent's team only had Tapu Fini as a real answer to rain, considering that Zapdos once I saw that Zapdos was in lead with Tapu Fini to activate its Misty Seed to be able to live with Waterium Z. I know I had a really good rain matchup. I did really expect Tapu Fini though in game 2, so I decided to lead differently so that I could actually deal with that adequately without having to think too hard about the plays.
I had Tapu Fini in the back, but because he led differently. And then I thought you were going to do the same thing, so I didn't actually bring Fini in game 3.
Yes, and then I unfortunately...
It was so bad against Ferrothorn and Koko. I was
I unfortunately made a play where I tried to overpredict a little, tried to go for an Iron Head on Kangaskhan when I was already +2 in Malwall, and that's what I was really fishing for, because then when Malwall gets to +2, all your opponent's attention goes towards Malwall. So in no way did I need to go attack King. The main way for Malwall to go down was Ghost MZ Aegislash, and I let that attack me when I could easily win for a Sucker Punch, and that was my initial thought, but then I overthought it and was like, maybe Aegislash will realize that and go for a King Shield, so then I attacked the Kangaskhan, trying to get it was a really offensive play that cost me game 2 entirely. So in game 3, considering I had a really good rain matchup, I just went back with the rain, because even if Tapu Fini was led, if a Moonblast went off, I would just double protect afterwards. I would double protect when a Moonblast goes off, and then just try to disable Encore it into Moonblast so that I could still deal with Tapu Fini. So honestly, to adequately beat this team, you kind of need two options that can live a Waterium Z on a lead. So that's why Misty C, Zapdos, and Tapu Fini next to each other are really good for being able to deal with it, because both can definitely live a Waterium Z. Zapdos can get up Tailwind to make the rest of the team faster than Kingdra. If they have a better speed stat, Zapdos unfortunately doesn't, and then it can get a little hectic on how to go about it. But a really fun set. You played game 2 so well, and I'm just, it's an awesome first round opponent, and I can't wait to see where it goes from here.
Outstanding commentary. Thank you so much, man, for breaking down the strategy and everything.
Thanks again.
Thanks again.
Ranger
Awesome.
Watts
Super fun.
wrecked by a
Check him
worthy
out.
opponent. Check him out where?
You can check him out. There will be a link in the description. TokenTube on YouTube.
TokenTube, check it out. My name is Jeremy Hall, by the way, so look for it if I end up doing well at this regionals.
Round 2, I played against this really cool guy. Game 1, I'll start by talking about like what happened in the game. So game 1, I had Landorus Zapdos. My Landorus killed his Tapu Koko. His Tapu Koko Z-moved on my Zapdos. My Zapdos barely lived and got up a Tailwind. So I was in a super good position from there, like having that Tailwind up, and like his team of like Gengar, Melodic just like was like easy pickings for my Landorus, and he agreed like, yeah, you had a huge advantage that game. You're probably gonna win. He's like, oh, I had Kangaskhan in the back, yeah. Just Kangaskhan with Tailwind up against that team was like super strong. So then the game froze after that first round, or that first turn. And so when the game froze, Judge came over and he's like, okay, well, y'all tie for this round. So I'm like, well, that sucks, but okay, I guess. Game 2, he won. Super close game, super awesome, and he won it in the end. And it was a great game, like no hacks whatsoever. And then game 3 comes around, and I win it super convincingly. And so like we're at like a tie position, and he was like super apologetic about the whole thing. It's like, yeah, you probably would have won that game 1. Like if I could give you the win, I would. And I was like, oh, can you forfeit and give me the win? Like, is that possible? And he's like, yeah, I'll do that for you, no problem, dude. Like you should have won game 1. So he's like, he fills it out with like me winning, and then the judge comes over, and the judge is like, oh no, yeah, y'all can't do that. Like, y'all have to go to a sudden death game. So we're like, oh, well, that sucks. So we do the sudden death game.
The guy forfeited. Are you kidding me?
You can't.
You can volunteer
coercion.
for your little sister in the Hunger Games, but you can't like just take it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt. Continue. That just seems ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like, because I guess there's like laws, and it becomes like gambling or something in like weird situations. Anyway, so we go to the sudden death thing, and like 7 turns go by. I'm in like a super advantageous position. Not super advantageous, but like I am in a really advantageous position. He has 3 Pokemon super low, but he gets the first knockout. He kills my Landorus, and so he technically wins, because in sudden death, you, like the first person with more Pokemon after the end of a turn wins. So like 7 turns go by, I'm winning, but he kills my Landorus first. With a Brave Bird Coco. That was super nice tech that I didn't see the entire rest of the games. And so I'm like, oh, like, do you still want to forfeit? Like, can you do that? If it's like, it's sudden death, you can run from a sudden death, and you can legally forfeit a sudden death. So I was like, oh, like, if you want it, like, I'm like, you don't have to. I'm just like wondering if you still want it to. And he actually like wanted to. Like, he was like super nice and like an awesome player, like super dope guy. But then like the judge is like, oh no, that's like coercion or whatever, and like no, like whatever. And then the head judge is there, and he's like, yeah, what are you talking about? Like, explain the situation to me. So like I explain it to him, and I'm just trying to like understand the whole situation. I'm just asking him questions, like being very friendly, just being like a little bit confrontational about like getting like the actual rulings to like. He's just like dismissing me, not accepting what I'm having to say. He's like, listen, I'm the head judge, whatever I say is final. I'm like, that's great. I know what you said is final, and I'm not trying to debate. I'm just trying to understand for future reference. Like, I want to know the ruling. I want to know how this works exactly. So like, I never end up in this situation again. I can explain it to other people, what have you. And I was being very nice about it. I was being pushy about getting information because I wanted information and he wasn't giving it to me. So then he's like, okay, like, stop arguing. If you want to talk about this further, come over to like the table. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So, like, you know, my opponent gets the win. I'm like, cool. Like, good luck in the tournament, man. Like, I really hope he does super well. And I go over to the head judge table, and I'm just, like, talking with him, like, trying to understand, like, looking at the rulings. And he's like, listen, like, I'm going to give you a penalty for this. And then, like, I'm like, oh, okay. Like, but I'm still trying to, like, understand, like, what the entire situation is. So I'm like asking about the rules. I'm like, can I see the literal rules? He shows them to me, and he's like, oh, now like I'm gonna jot you down for like arguing with a head judge. I'm gonna jot you down for lying to a head judge. I'm like, what are you even talking about? Like, when have I lied? I'm just trying to like communicate with you and figure out what's going on. And then he's like, okay, I'm gonna give you like a game loss for next round. I'm like, what the fuck? You're just gonna kick me out of the next round? Yeah. He's like, okay, I'm just gonna kick you out of the tournament.
White, are you out?
Maybe. I said, then at that point I was like, okay, well now I'm forced to like debate this to try to like not get kicked out of the tournament. And he's like, you know, like I could like report you. I'm like, what the hell? I'm just trying to understand this whole thing. I'm just trying to like figure out like why this is happening. If I can potentially like just not get the like next round loss just like by explaining that
you're
haven't.
You're min-maxing.
Like,
you're playing competitively, and you're doing it politely and elegantly.
It is like against the rules, but like it may like technically like if you if you interpret them a certain way, yes, it's against the rules because it is very it's not objective. It's very subjective. It's very like kind of up in the air, like a U.S. Constitution. You know, it's like interpreted by the head judge, and whatever the head judge comes up with, that's final. And I'm fine with that. I was just trying to understand. So in his eyes, that was illegal, and that does give him a penalty, and that's fine. I was just trying to fully understand where he's coming from, so I can better interpret the rules myself.
Very fair.
But then he's like, okay, you get a game loss for like arguing with me and like for like doing all this. I'm like, I'm not arguing with you. I'm just like explaining my side, trying to understand everything. I'm not debating. I'm fine with everything that's happened. I just want to understand, and I just want to talk to you. But he was very standoffish, very like, okay, like whatever.
He just
game loss for next round. And I'm like, okay, well, is there any way I can not get a game loss for next round? Because that's like, that kicks me out of the tournament. He's like, I'll think about it, and I'll come talk to you before next round. I'm like, okay, thank you. And I left. So that was it.
Well, I am eager to see how this works out. I still have absolute confidence that you can pull off several wins. It sounds like your first two losses were sort of taken from you and BS.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, Token's super good, like, way better player. Like, bad matchup, but still, Token deserved that. So I'm happy I lost to Token.
Do you have...
And then, like, this dude getting the win, he's cool and awesome, so it's like, whatever.
Yeah, you're being a really good sport. Okay, Wyatt, do you have a plan on how you're about to approach this? All right. I guess we'll see you after the game.
Until there's, like, any clear sign that TPCI and like prizing support and the game not being buggy and freezing and judges actually having like the judges I don't put the judges on this ridiculous pedestal where they have to be like perfect. Obviously that's not true, but at least from the head judge be able to like explain to somebody and just have a conversation to somebody who's eager to learn about the rules and eager to understand them instead of just denying him any right to information and saying like you need to leave, like I'm giving you a game loss just because he's trying to understand. I never argued, I never debated about what his decisions were, about what was going to happen. I was just trying to understand the situation. I never said you should change this, I never said this shouldn't be this way. No, I was just asking like why this rule is this, or what the rules say in the thing, and asking him questions that he would not answer, and he just kept saying the same thing over and over. And like I'm not saying like judges have to be perfect. I'm just saying like judges can't do that. That's not okay to like just abuse power. And then like TPCI being horrible at running their tournaments and treating their players like dog shit. And then the game bugging out, like having 4 different moves that are banned because they have bugs. Like that shouldn't be a thing, especially 2 moves that people actually want to use sometimes. And then like the game freezing, like freezing round 2, and And it froze twice that match too. I didn't even mention that part, but second game when he won, right after he won it froze. And like obviously I was just like, yeah, judge, this is fine, right? Like he just gets the win, and the judge was like, yeah. So it froze twice. And so all of these factors have culminated to the point where I'm officially retiring from competitive Pokemon. And like unless very big things happen to where it changes drastically, today was not acceptable, today was not cool, and like we should all like start a rebellion, like just not like put up with the way we're treated as players. As like we have to spend more money for these tournaments now. I just spent $60 on this tournament. It was never that expensive before, and we were just treated like horseshit. And it's like you don't get anything in return for $60 unless you like place really well. You have to place like top 8 to get anything, and it's like that's just not. It's like everything's just out of whack, and it's not cool. And like this experience has ruined it for me, so I'm quitting.
To touch me.